Most people have never heard of a thorn forest, and if you have, you probably picture a barren landscape or unused desert. This idea of a desolate wasteland between the real biomes couldn't be more wrong. Thorn forests are ecotones, which are critical transitional zones that stitch together ecosystems, and they're far more important than they look. Here at the Seasuff Arboretum, we can take a look at some of these lesser known species from a thorn forest and see how they bring it all together. Anna boom is another tree that is particularly suited for arid conditions. It actually leaves out during the dry season and drops its leaves in the wet season, providing shade to the plants beneath it exactly when they need it most. It's a textbook nurse plant, and communities all across Africa still intercrop beneath it because it makes otherwise impossible ground farmable. Another important resident is the Cavin espino tree. It's a dense and thorny tree that provides a critical breeding habitat and shelter for birds, insects, and other small mammals. In some of the harshest conditions on Earth, plants like these are quietly holding together entire webs of life. And all three plants belong to the nitrogen-fixing Fabaceae family, which means they convert nitrogen from the air into forms that the plant can use in the soil. And in landscapes where soil is thin and nutrient poor, that nitrogen is what keeps the ground capable of supporting life. Without it, soil begins to degrade, vegetation disappears, and desertification takes over. Thorn forests hold soil in place, buffer neighboring biomes, and support surprising levels of biodiversity in landscapes most people write off. In regions like the Brazilian Caatinga, the thorn scrub of East Africa, and arid zones across India and Mexico, communities still depend on these ecosystems for fodder, medicine, and drought-resilient food sources. And this isn't just ancient history, it's happening right now. But because thorn forests look unproductive, they're often treated as disposable. They're some of the first lands cleared for cattle ranching, converted to monocrops, stripped for charcoal, or swallowed by urban sprawl. Their perceived worthlessness is exactly what makes them vulnerable. So what does conservation look like? Today, many thorn forests are fragmented and broken into isolated patches after decades of land conversion. The real work is reconnecting those fragments, restoring corridors so that ecotones can function again as the connective tissue between biomes. Think of it less like protecting an island and more like rebuilding bridges, because when the stitching comes apart, both sides unravel.